What's going on, guys? So welcome back. In this video we're going to be discussing my top 2 cameras, trail cameras that is, after 5 years of use, so stay tuned. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Carrasco Ranch. My name is Robert, if this is your first time tuning in. So like I said in the intro, we're going to be going over my top 2 cameras. We have a more expensive camera, but definitely my best camera, and a cheaper camera, but also performs well. These two are both going to be linked down below, so you can check them out. And the newer ones have some updated features, and I'll list them down below, and what I would do next on my next upgrade. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into this video. But before we do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on this video. That helps YouTube boost this video to others who may be interested in trail cameras as well. So the first thing we're going to go over is you're going to notice it has a solar panel. So it has a solar panel that charges an internal battery for this camera. So real quickly, if you have it on picture mode, it'll last forever. Even on a cloudy day, it'll still be fine. It's not going to run out of any juice inside that internal battery. Now, if you have it on video and it is a cloudy day, there is a good chance that it may run out of juice and not capture, later into the night or whatever. But they did work on that. So you can actually add batteries in here by removing this screw. You can remove this screw, take this little top off, and insert batteries. The batteries are going to be a backup. So they're not going to, the camera's not going to use the batteries until the internal battery, the charger pack for the solar, is worn out or used. Then it'll start taking energy from the batteries you put in here. So that's a cool feature. One thing I am going to note, I did buy, I believe, 2 of these at the same time. So my first one did burn out, and I'm going to tell you why. So the first one I bought, it ended up burning out because I had it in direct sun. There was no shade around. I mean, we're here in Texas for one. So the sun just, I guess, overheated this little solar panel, which overheated the internal battery and actually melted all the internal components of the camera. So this camera, I had it in a somewhat half shade, half sunny area, and it's been performing well. I just took this thing down because we were going to knock down the tree that it was mounted on. But other than that, it hasn't been moved, and it's been there for 5 years now. So now we're going to dive onto the inside portion of it. As you can tell, it's been pecked at by a woodpecker or something, a bird. It has a big screen here. So on that screen, you'll actually be able to toggle through your photos and view them on the camera itself. So I'm not sure if I left it charging or not. So you can see it turns on there. And let me just go up here a little closer so you guys can see. Let me move the mic also here. So you're going to see there on the camera, you can toggle up and down here. You have start camera, detection test. View is what you would click on to start viewing your photos on the SIM card. So it's an internal thing. And here you're going to notice that it's switching between INT and then AA. So it's INT and AA. So the INT is the internal battery, and the AA is the AA batteries that are in here. So to start camera, you're going to hit OK, and you can choose between photo, time lapse, or video. Like I said, on video mode, just running with the internal battery, it may go out sooner if it's a cloudy day, but with photos, you don't have nothing to worry about. So you just toggle between here. You can go back. Detection test, that's going to give you like a little red light that's blinking, and it'll give you a red light, and then it'll also show you where you are here on the camera. So say you have this mounted up in a tree and you want to see where, let's just do this. So it's going to give you that, so you can see what it looks like in there, I think. So it gives you where you are in relation to the camera. So that's pretty cool. You know, you can see me in there. Hello. Back. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool feature because a lot of people will not know where the camera is actually pointing, but you can actually see it through the camera. What is this? View, like I said, and then your settings, your times, and how much lapse you want between photos. So let me sit down again here. So overall, this has been a great camera. It's been pecked at by woodpeckers. It's been dropped. I've had hogs scratch on this before I had it mounted up higher, and it didn't break. Luckily, I guess. It does have an option to lock it. So if you are on public land, you can lock it. Again, it does have the little ties back here to mount it to a tree. But overall, this camera is, actually need to turn this off because we're not using it. So overall, this camera is good. The only thing I would do, so this is going to be a great camera to set in place if you are entering a buck bedding area. So if you're entering the hunting season and you're entering a buck bedding area, which is a place you do not want to be, you know, leaving a lot of human scent, one of these solar cameras with the backup batteries in there, along with the antenna. They make some of them that have antennas that are either Verizon or AT&T. I will link those down below as well. That's the only thing I regret not buying on these, but at the time I didn't have that cash to purchase those. That's the only thing I would do different with these. But if you're in a buck bedding area and you don't want to be leaving human scent in there, you have their solar camera in here along with your antenna, so you can receive your pictures on your phone without ever having to go in there. You just have to go in there once to set up the camera, and that's it. And then whenever the season's over or whatever you want to take it down, you just take it back down. Instead of having to go in and out, picking up SIM cards and swapping out batteries, this will take care of that problem. So I know some people might ask, so this is actually the mounting system I use for my cameras. It's by Spy High, and these screw into the trees, and you can have it kind of, this isn't even what the video is about, but you can kind of have it, you know, in a tree and out of line of sight of the deer, because sometimes the bucks will notice it. I mean, this is their home. They notice, you know, what's changed from day to day. So I use these and I put them up above eye level, also to catch, you know, people trespassing. It's a great way to do that. But we're not going to get into that. I will leave it down below just because it's here, but yeah. So like I said, now we're going to talk about the price, and also just take very clear photos. I'll put a photo in here so you can see the clarity of it. It's a great camera, honestly. Like I said, my favorite camera so far. I have literally nothing negative to say other than it did burn out when I put it in direct sun in 100, and that day I think it was like 108 when it burned out. It was 108, so I can only imagine how hot it got in here. But anyway, I can't, other than that, I have nothing bad to say about this. So I'll leave it down below as well. What I was gonna say? Oh, the price point. So the price point of this camera, sometimes they go on sale for under 200, but right now they're sitting around 199 for these cameras. And the ones with the antennas are a little bit pricier, around $250, $300. But I'll leave them down below as well. But again, you can't go wrong with these cameras. And honestly, I just want to buy a whole bunch of these and not even mess with anything else because I love these cameras. By the way, you can see how smooth that thing still operates after 5 years through the wear and tear of the South Texas heat, for one. After rain, hail, snowstorm. It was in a snowstorm too. It's been through everything, and this thing still works like a boss, man. It still works like a champ. And it does have here, which I haven't done yet, but you can actually add another solar panel through this little connection here. So you can add a solar panel charger in case this is ever covered by shade or whatever, or a bigger, larger panel to charge this thing a little faster. It does have that capability. But like I said, after 5 years, this thing is still flawless, man. I love it. So my next one is by Stealth Cam. This is again a cheaper camera. These are gonna run you about 80 bucks, $79. They may have gone up to about $100. I know I saw a couple for $100. This one has been pecked by a woodpecker. A woodpecker did peck through that little lens there, but it actually still works fine. It's just the sensor, the camera's actually up here, but it still operates just fine. This one is gonna run on AA batteries, 8 of them. The battery time on these, again, it's going to depend on how often you are using it, how many photos you are taking with this. But I would say it lasts about 3 months. And I get a lot of action out here with the deer and the hogs and bobcats and all that. So I want to say every time I pulled a card, I had at least, 1,300 photos or so in about 7 to 10 days. So that's a lot of photos. So these things will last about 3 months on the same batteries. Now, if you get cheap batteries, I've gotten some of those Harbor Freight batteries, and it lasts probably about a month, if that. But I have Duracells in there right now. Those typically last about 3 months. On a slower, if I'm not getting that many photos, it'll last 5 months. Again, it has just an on and off switch. You can set your time in here. Again, you can set the phases on when you want the timer to go off. But overall, it takes good quality photos. I don't have anything negative to say about it other than, it doesn't have the little solar panel like the other one does. So you do have to come out here and actually change the batteries from time to time. I've tried rechargeable batteries, but for some reason, it kind of wear out kind of fast. And I've even bought new ones. They wear out faster than the Duracells, so I've just stuck with the Duracells. And you have your SD card here. And the cheap stealth cams, the ones that are like 40, 50 bucks, they didn't work as well. I've had hogs scratch up on them and then just shatter them. I know this one's been through some rough stuff because I had it clipped onto a tree and it was knocked down and it had mud all over it. So it was definitely a hog. But it's still alive, still kicking, still taking photos, so it's very durable. Again, this one has also been in a snowstorm. I've had this one for a while. Like I said, it's a great camera, cheap price, but good quality for the price. So I'll leave this one down below as well. Again, it's going to be around $100 for this, but you honestly can't go wrong with them. I've had some cheaper cameras, $29, $39 range. But the quality is not that good. You can't really make out the antlers. You have to be there like zooming in, and once you zoom in, it gets all gritty on the photos. So that's why this one takes high quality photos. You can actually tell, you can actually count the points on the buck, and with that spy point, flawless pictures. I mean, you can see detail on the photos of those spy points. One thing I'm going to mention. So Spy Point does make some smaller cameras. They make the micros, I think, or minis, or whatever they're called. They do have solar panels. I have heard complaints about those littler ones, though. And I know that the photos aren't as crisp as these bigger ones. Obviously, there's a price difference as well, so I'm sure they have to sacrifice on that. But I haven't heard the best of things, but then I have heard some people that, they do for what they need, it works. So it's kind of up to you, but I know for sure I can speak for these that, again, this isn't sponsored, but I can speak for these that these do work. They work great. Like I said, it's been 5 years with this camera, and I freaking love it, man. I love it. The only thing else I would do differently is just buy the one with the antenna. It probably will drain more battery if it does have the antenna, because now it's having to send signal to your phone. But I mean, if you can have backup batteries and the panel here, or if you wanted to add an external solar panel, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Also, really quickly, so the speed at which it catches photos, this one's a lot faster. It catches birds mid-air on the trees. It catches them mid-air. This one does not. This one it'll take the photo, but you'll be like the end of a wing or the tail feathers. So it's a little slower than this one. And it takes really clear photos, even though the birds are in motion. If I can find the photos, I'll put some photos up there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, again, price difference is huge, at least $100 price difference. But like I said, both of these cameras work good. You can't really go wrong with either one of them. I've had multiple stealth cams, different prices. I've had the one that was like another 50, 60 bucks more than this one. That one worked good, but the plastic I guess they used wasn't as durable for my area. So it kind of wore out and got brittle after a little bit of time. This one, it's still pretty stout, pretty strong. So, I mean, this one appears to be built better. So, like I said, I'll leave it down below. Yeah, I hope y'all found this video useful, guys. Like I said, they work great for, you know, surveillance. If you get the antenna, it can be home security, or if you just want to put it in some low traffic areas where you don't want to be going around and leaving scents for the solars, or if you're just looking for a budget friendly option that offers a lot of high quality photos and you know, you're gonna get your money's worth out of it, then I would go with these. So without further ado, guys, appreciate you guys watching. Again, this is a video that you guys had some input in. I took a poll on the channel, and the drought video was #1 and the camera video was #2. So that's the reason we're putting this together. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Like always, be careful, be good, take care, and God bless, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.